I'm far from perfect, but I know evil when I see it. Some of you jokers need to get out of the ministry. W.S. Hanchel. When Jesus was about to be crucified, a couple things happened. Most of the disciples break off running. Then Peter denied him. Well, first, before I even get to that, Judas betrayed him into this process. Then when he was arrested, most of the disciples ran. Then Peter, who stuck on for a little while, denied him 3 times. Say, I don't know who this dude is. And then when he was on the cross, it was really the women who were there. Not the men. You had 1 or 2 who stood around, but the women were there, not the men. So Christ's time, and the women stood. As a matter of fact, when Christ came back from the dead, his first encounter was with a woman who was still travailing over him. And so here on Saturday, when we're having this gay parade in Nassau, it is again the women who are standing up because the men don't show up. They didn't show up at all. People are questioning Carol Moss, but guess who showed up? Carol Moss. Not because she had any agenda, but because she has a purpose when it comes to the work of God. Because Carl Moss was, and now Carl Moss is. There was a Saul Carl Moss, and now there's the Paul Carl Moss. And so the Paul Carl Moss showed up because she needed to show up. You understand? Carl Moss is the only one who got on Facebook and said, I have to admit that we have a failure in the church. But you know why a lot of these fellas ain't showing up? Because of some of the stuff that Walter Hanchel says. They are involved in the practice of homosexuality. They are involved in the molestation of these young men and young women. They are involved in the perversion of our children. They're involved. And so they cannot be seen to be demonstrating against it because they may end up being exposed because of some of the conversations they're having and some of the stuff that they're doing. That's why. So don't think that they avoided it because they had other issues going on. They avoided it because they cannot be seen there because they know they're sleeping with a lot of these young men. They know it was some of them who broke these young men out. There's some of them who broke these young women out. So they can't be seen there. They know some of them who having these events at their homes to introduce these young people to these perversions. I have nothing against homosexuals. I have nothing against Asians. Other than this, that, and I say homosexuals, I have nothing against homosexuals, other than this, that you cannot celebrate or feel good about celebrating sin. Adultery is also a sin, but we ain't having no adultery parade. And there are persons who are saying that they are celebrating about the protection of people's lives and all that other stuff. There's a way to do that without celebrating homosexuality. And you can do it properly because no one should, who has a particular lifestyle or particular preference, should feel threatened by anyone else as long as they're not breaking the law. And the government has an obligation to everybody. Gay, straight, black, white, all. It does not matter. But the church has a responsibility. And pastors ought to stand up and speak up. Because they have to keep this country before the throne of God. And when they fail, when they disappear, when the men break off running and leave the women to work, we know we have a problem. Our country, our people, our nation is in trouble. What are they afraid of? Exposure? What are they afraid of? That they can't be seen this way because they was just sleeping with this little boy last night? Or sleeping with this young girl? Whatever they doing? What are they afraid of?